It can be observed that some people confused critical thinking with logic or logical thinking. They often thought that to have critical thinking means to be argumentative or critical of other people's ideas. However, critical thinking does not only involve analyzing arguments and determining their validity. Critical thinking is more than being argumentative or critical of other people's ideas. So, what is critical thinking, and how does it differ from logic or logical thinking? On the one hand, logic as a specific branch of philosophy is defined as the science of the correct processes of thinking. In particular, logic deals with arguments and their validity. Hence, when one is doing logic in a philosophical manner, one is necessarily dealing with the principles that govern the validity of arguments, that is, whether a certain conclusion follows from given premises. Let us consider this example. Any person who is a member of a labor union is a troublemaker. Fred is a member of a labor union. Therefore, Fred is a troublemaker. Now, if we determine the validity of this argument using the principles in logic, then we are doing logical thinking. This is precisely the business of logic in general. And for more detailed discussion on the nature, meaning, and dynamics of logic, please refer to our other whiteboard edition titled, What is Logic? On the other hand, critical thinking is understood as the ability to analyze objectively a given fact or issue to form a sound judgment. In other words, critical thinking is a cognitive skill which includes questioning, analyzing, criticizing, synthesizing, evaluating, and judging ideas or information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication. Critical thinking, therefore, is the ability to think clearly and rationally, and it must be noted that logic is just a useful tool in critical thinking. Let us consider an example of a situation that involves or demands critical thinking. Robert's wife is suffering from an ectopic pregnancy. In an ectopic pregnancy, the fetus developed outside the uterus, usually in the fallopian tube. As is well known, if the fetus is not aborted, then eventually, as the fetus grows, the fallopian tube will explode, causing death to both the mother and the fetus. If aborted, the fetus will obviously die, but at least the mother is saved. However, Robert and his wife are devout Catholics, and they are convinced that abortion is absolutely immoral. Indeed, Robert and his wife are faced with a huge moral dilemma. But of course, Robert and his wife have to make a decision whether to undergo abortion or not. Here, Robert and his wife have to make a conscious effort to weigh things out. They need to evaluate the situation holistically and even question their deep-seated Christian belief system. Indeed, they need to think clearly and rationally so they may be able to come up with a sound judgment and eventually solve the problem systematically. As we can see, while Robert and his wife may employ logical thinking in solving their problem, it is clear that the situation does not only involve evaluating arguments. The situation goes beyond the bounds of logic. For sure, the situation also involves thinking about thinking. That is, questioning one's own thoughts and belief system. Whatever decision Robert and his wife might arrive at, whether to resort to abortion or not, it is assumed that they question, analyze, criticize, synthesize, and evaluate the situation and make a sound, clear, and rational judgment at the end of the day. That's it for now. Thanks for visiting us today for another whiteboard discussion here at PHILO-notes. Full transcript of this video is available at PHILO-notes.com. And to keep you updated of our newest videos, simply click here and subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. Thanks! Take care!